voice bundle and call any network.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Welcome to the Cedric Live Show, sponsored by MTN and hosted at the wonderful Speak Apartments on Wampo Avenue in Kampala. On today's show, we have a special guest, somebody who's been in the tourism industry for many years, formerly the executive director of the Chimpanzee Sanctuary on Ngamba Island, and now the CEO of the Uganda Tourism Board. Welcome to the Cedric Live Show, sponsored by MTN and hosted at the wonderful Speak Apartments on Wampo Avenue in Kampala. On today's show, we have a very interesting guest who's been in wildlife and tourism for many years. It's the CEO of Uganda Tourism Board, Lily Ajarova. Lily, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So tell me a little bit, you've been in tourism for quite a while, and I think I've heard that you were named Mama Chimp. They gave you that name, Mama Chimp. So tell me a little bit about how did you get into wildlife and tourism as a person?
For me, it started from childhood.
Yes.
I grew up in a family with parents who were very interested in nature. So oftentimes we visited national parks, we went into the wilderness, we did lots of trips. So it has been part of me from childhood. And as I grew up, I saw lots of values in nature. I saw lots of values in traveling, and that has remained part of me, part of the values, but also the passion that I hold towards life. So I studied, my undergraduate study was in psychology.
Okay.
And so animal welfare came in very handy in dealing with animals that have been abused in different ways.
Yes.
So working with Ngamba Island Chimpanzee Sanctuary was very satisfying to me in helping to rehabilitate the individual baby chimpanzees that would have been confiscated and would have been abused in different ways. And working with Chimpanzee Sanctuary and Wildlife Conservation Trust, which in Ngamba Island was only just one of the projects,
yes.
We did lots of stuff. I personally spearheaded the development of a conservation program with payment for ecosystem services, in which we have learned a lot on what we need to do to minimize the effect of climatic change in Uganda.
Okay.
So a number of things done under that organization, but animal welfare still holds a special place in my heart because of the physical attachment bond that I got to create with the individual animals and getting them rehabilitated from situations where an animal couldn't eat, they were just afraid of any human being, and then they get rehabilitated and go back to the forest, and then they are happy to be home.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
forests is what they call home.
Yes.
It's the most satisfying thing that I think I've been able to do among so many others.
A good friend of mine, I think, worked with you, Dr. Suna.
Yes.
I went to school with him.
Oh,
And he's a
yeah.
vet. I think he's
Yes,
a vet.
he is, and he is still working with animal welfare. He's working in a facility in Liberia right now, doing similar thing as what Ngamba Island Chimpanzee Sanctuary does to the wildlife.
You know, I didn't realize until quite recently that chimps are actually a very rare species of we talk about gorillas all the time. Everybody knows gorillas are rare, but chimps are as well.
Well, actually, when I got into tourism, I
Yes.
started with gorillas first.
Okay.
Yeah, if I can give that background, in that, yes, the mountain gorillas are endangered.
Yes.
The numbers are much lower.
Yes.
But chimpanzees are equally endangered.
But why do they call
Yes.
you Mama Chimp? Just as because you were there a long time? Or?
It's because of the care I had to give to the chimps.
Yes.
The baby chimps that we would rescue, we would have to hand raise them. It's like hand raising a human baby. It's 24 hours. You have schedule of when to give milk, when to give
Yes,
medicine.
yes. And you actually have to physically give it to them.
Yes, and sleep with the individual in the same bed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They would sleep in the rooms?
Yes.
But then how do you then move them back to the forest?
Yes, we do. There is a whole process of integration.
Yes.
So you first of all have to show them that love, so like a real mother's love that they would have from their own mothers. And at a certain point, you start withdrawing and getting them introduced back to the wildlife that they have.
So you'd say that your time at Ngamba Island was a successful period. How many chimps did you rescue, rehabilitate, put back into the wild? Do you have numbers on that? Or?
Well, we personally, there were about 15 that I physically helped to hand raise.
Yes.
And Ngamba Island has about 50 of them
Yes.
that are rehabilitated, but they have never been reintroduced back to the wild.
Yes.
They have been reintroduced back to the semi-wild environment.
On the island.
At Ngamba Island.
Yeah, I've been there behind the fence.
Yes.
You go up and you see them.
Mhm.
Do they
The
remember
forest.
you personally when you visit?
Some of them, yes. The ones I hand raised.
That must be nice.
Yes.
I've only
So
seen
very
that I've only
satisfying.
seen that in the movies. Well, I'd like to see it in real life. But anyways, that's for another day.
Yes.
But now you are the chief executive officer of the Uganda Tourism Board.
Yes.
So you moved from hand raising and being in the wild to now sitting in an office. It must be a bit different.
It's very different, but at the same time, I was also doing lots of administrative
Yes.
work for Ngamba Island as well.
Right.
I was doing a lot of fundraising, both nationally and internationally, because it's a charity organization. Yes, I think I find it more satisfying to be out there with the animals in the wild, in the forest, than around people.
Yes.
Who are very judgmental.
Yes.
The forest is non-judgmental, and they give you more than being around people who are always judging you
they're not so
and
loyal.
giving you
A hard time.
all kinds of troubles. But I still love humans. I'm one of them. So, yes. But also as a person,
Yes.
I love challenges. I love to be challenged. So moving away from nature-based environment most of the time and coming into the city office, I think has its own challenge, which I'm adjusting to.
Yes.
And it's interesting as well because it gives me a lot of opportunity to also educate the people that I'm meeting about
Yes.
the wildlife, about all the other things that I have been able to experience in life.
Very nice. So you, the tourism industry in Uganda, apparently in 2019, it brought in about $1.6 billion in revenues to Uganda. Is this true?
Yes, absolutely.
In 2019?
2018.
2018.
Yeah.
And we're hoping for
20.
better results in 2019, or at least when the results do come out.
Yes, 2018-2019 financial year is
Yes.
what we are talking about. So we are very optimistic that at the end of this financial year,
Yes.
we should be able to see the numbers going higher.
Yeah, I do. We see a lot more influx of tourists. Apparently there were 1.8 million in 2018 or something.
1.5 million.
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. So, I mean, in terms of the average spend per tourist, how much do they spend in our economy? Is this where you attribute the 1.6 billion, the dollars?
Well, we have different kinds of tourists who
Yes.
come, of visitors who come into the country.
Yes.
Yeah, we have lots of leisure tourists.
Right.
We have those who come to visit friends and relatives. We have business, those who come for business. So just to put it into perspective, tourism from the technical definition is anyone who moves from their usual place of residence and goes to another place and spends 24 hours, not less than 24 hours, and not more than a year.
Right.
Because you can be a tourist on business for 3 months, for a month, and you are still counted as a tourist.
Okay.
Yeah, but we have the category of the leisure tourists, which is also our number one interest, because these are people who will come and spend more. But there's always the combination of people coming for business and getting involved in the leisure activities as well. And right now there has been a lot of focus for Uganda promoting more the leisure business, but we have also now set up ourselves ready to promote Destination Uganda as a MICE destination for meetings, incentives, conferences, and events.
Right.
So we are beginning the facilities are now available.
The big hotels.
Years back, we didn't have the kind of hotels and facilities that we have. The road network was not as good to get people to travel easily. But now that we have all these in place, it's high time that we are also promoting Destination Uganda as a MICE destination, in addition to promoting it as a leisure destination.
Right.
So a combination of all these is what gives us the figure we are talking about. It's not just the leisure tourists coming in. But also very important is that all these, many times, the Ugandans think the tourists have to be a Muzungu, coming from Europe, from the US, from Australia, or wherever else. We actually have a majority of our tourists coming from within the continent.
Yes.
From South Africa, from Kenya, from the different
West
countries
Africa,
within the country, within the continent. So it's very important to put that into perspective, because it's also the UN World Tourism Organization did research recently, and the report indicates that majority of people who travel, especially for leisure, 4 out of 5 will travel within their own vicinity, within the same continent. So it's important for us as Uganda, as a destination, to be able to acknowledge that we have the numbers right within the continent to attract.
We're a huge continent anyway, we're huge.
Absolutely, and we have some huge economies like Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, which to this point are actually our major source market for tourism in Uganda. So the big numbers we get are from those big economies. And to try and position ourselves better, we have the upcoming Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo.
We're going to get to that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut to commercial. And when we come back, I want you to tell me about the consistent growth of tourism in Uganda. Maybe that's because of you becoming the CEO, I don't know. But let's see.
Too soon.
We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Keep watching the Cedric Live Show. We'll be right back after the commercial.
Mama Narongo, sweetie Bambi, where are you?
Wanji?
Perezako simu, I wanted to get some soup.
Oyagala wangoko? Obo wente?
The soup you want is for MTN.
Mulimuchi?
Good daily bando, I can call any network.
Olimba?
Chikuru wakana nyuburingi, the phone I show you.
We have added more Kasupu to MTN Daily Voice Bundles. You can now call all networks using the same voice bundle at the same price. Dial *160*21# to load an MTN Daily Voice Bundle and call any network.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Speak Apartments offers you 5-star luxury in the heart of the city. Walk into the lavish and spacious living room designed by gifted interior designers to suit the tastes of those who appreciate the finer things in life. Speak Apartments is also home to the Calabash Spa and Salon, a tropical oasis of pampering and relaxation. Speak Apartments defines fine living. Also on the premises is East Africa's largest gym, fully equipped with different modern weight training equipment and cardio machines, plus children's play area, ample parking, car washing and laundry services. For your culinary delight, La Cabana restaurant and bar has you covered with a number of cuisines from around the world. If it's fine dining you love, Speak Apartments defines the fine in fine dining. Located at the edge of Wampeo Avenue, Speak Apartments is your luxury home in the heart of Kampala City.
Welcome back to the Cedric Live Show, sponsored by MTN and hosted at the wonderful Speak Apartments on Wampeo Avenue in Kampala. On today's show, we have the CEO of Uganda Tourism Board, Lily Ajarova. We were just speaking about the growth of the tourism industry in Uganda and how we have enough numbers in Africa to make the tourism industry grow, especially in Uganda. But what do you attribute the growth of Uganda's tourism to? What is it that is making it grow?
From the statistics, the growth trend has been for the last 3 years at 10%. In
Yes.
2016, we had 1.3 million, 2017, 1.4, 2018,
Yes.
1.5. There are a number of factors. One of the key factors is the infrastructural development.
Yes.
You know, from the hotels, the accommodation, the international flights that we have coming into Entebbe International Airport, the road network. You know, it's a lot easier now to reach out to the different tourist destinations within the country. I would attribute that the growth to that, but also the key is that there has been more effort being put into promoting the destination Uganda.
Yes. And Uganda is quite secure now, you know, relatively
The
speaking.
peace and security is given because
it
nobody
helps
would
a lot.
want. Yes, it's
Yeah.
one of the fundamental factors.
You know, I know that the tourism board and the tourism sector now is, you know, their marketing strategy seems to have improved. I know there was I think an international tender for PR agencies. How is that working?
The market destination representative, the PR firms,
Yes.
are right now hired in 6 source markets:
Yes.
UK, Germany, and North America
Okay.
as our core international source market.
Yes.
But we also have the emerging markets where we have the MDRs, that is in Japan, in China, and UAE. So that is working out very well because we have physical presence in those key markets,
Right.
where Uganda on day-to-day basis is an office in addition to the embassies or the
Yes.
High Commission in those markets, that we are able to answer and proactively on regular basis they are providing information, press releases, and to
Yes.
keep the people in the market more informed about what destination Uganda has to offer. So that is working very well, and we have seen for the last 3 years that we have engaged with them. The numbers from those particular countries
Yes.
have gone higher, between 7 to 15%.
This is countries like Japan and
Yeah,
the
the
UAE
6
and-
that we have hired to help us in the source market.
So it's actually been a productive experiment, I won't say experiment, but a productive process in terms of hiring them.
Very effective. in helping to promote the brand Uganda and bring in more tourists from those countries.
Now, another thing I saw last year something quite interesting. I don't know whether it was a partnership, whether it was by accident. There was an artist, Jidena. I don't know whether it was, I don't know what the relationship was, but it looked very interesting in terms of a digital strategy. Because some of these guys have thousands or hundreds of thousands of followers. Was that intentional or part of your strategy?
It wasn't by accident.
Yes.
We actually have one of our strategies is to use influencers, people who have large followings,
Yes.
especially digitally. So we actually have a program called Back to the Source,
Okay.
where we are trying to bring, especially with North America.
Yes.
We have lots of Black Americans who are very interested to find their origin,
Yes.
their source back into Africa,
Yes.
and we're trying to target them.
Okay.
And with that, his coming was not by accident, but
Yes.
it's because we did organize. We know the following he has,
Yes.
and that was quite impactful for the short time that he was here.
Yes.
And it's a strategy that we're going to be building on to bring in more. We also have powerful Ugandans,
Yeah, I've seen some of your campaigns.
Yeah,
What was it called? There was one with Salvador and Marcus Gaetano. There's one where they went to one of the national parks.
Oh yes, that is Tulambule, Uganda.
Tulambule, yes,
That's
yes,
for
yes,
the
yes.
domestic tourism promotion,
Yes.
which is still ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's ongoing. So we might get you on one of those trips.
Oh, I was just about to ask, but of course I couldn't.
depending
I couldn't ask you. I was going to ask you after the show, but again, I'll tell one of you, the people from your office. Actually, I've been hinting for a long time, but it's okay. I knew eventually you'd get to me.
I've made the commitment on camera now, so you
Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. But in terms of local tourism, in Ugandan tourism, I find that many Ugandans know a lot about other places, but don't know about their own. When we think of a holiday, we think of going out of
Right.
Uganda. Yet Uganda has so many beautiful places. Recently, I was in Queen Elizabeth at the Chambura Reserve, and there's a lot of nice places you can go to. Of course, you have the gorilla trekking. There's the national parks in the north. What are the efforts to promote local tourism?
There's a lot that Uganda Tourism Board is taking lead on to
Yes.
promote domestic tourism. The Tulambule Uganda is
Yes.
one of them, where we are getting Ugandans to be aware of what is happening or
Yes.
what we have available within the country, by getting a group of people to travel to different places in
Yeah.
the country and showcasing what they're experiencing. That's one, but two, we are also trying very much to disseminate, to communicate,
Yes.
through the media, and we are strengthening our partnership with the media,
Yes.
to be able to communicate more, create more awareness, and
Yes.
this is across the board. The mainstream media, and also the digital. Because the number of Ugandans are, we have a young population.
Yeah, they're all
and these
on
are guys who
Facebook
are
and social
just
media
on
and-
social media all the
Yes.
time. So we are strengthening our presence online to be able to educate the Ugandans of what we have available. But we are also right now trying to motivate Ugandans to travel by giving some offers. Their prizes being one, free accommodation at a particular destination.
Yes.
So depending on the quizzes, depending on the photographs people are submitting, that they get to win some of these trips. So that should be able to encourage more Ugandans to visit the different destinations within the country.
Yeah, I think one of the challenges, from what I've heard, a lot of people feel that they have the misconception that it's very expensive. So when when they hear, a gorilla ticket costs X, they're like, but I'm a young person, I can't afford this.
You need to say that louder, because I think that is a big misconception.
Yes. Because
the national park fees for Ugandans is very affordable to a common Ugandan.
Yes.
The Uganda Wildlife Authority has brought in the buses.
Yes.
That as Ugandans, if you organize yourselves in groups, it would not be expensive at all.
Yes.
To find your way into the different national parks and different places. The hotels as well have special rates for Ugandans.
Yes.
So we have classified pricing that should be able to encourage more Ugandans to have these experiences as well, have holidays in this destination.
Camping, go and camping.
But there's just the feeling that, no, it's not for us.
Yes.
And for the middle income class Ugandans, they think it is, we don't have the facilities.
Yes.
It must be in Kenya, it must be in Dubai, in South Africa. But that's the importance that we are laying on to creating awareness and using the media, because I have been told by some new friends I'm making along the way, we didn't actually know that we have facilities to this quality in our own country.
Yes.
Just one of the little story, if I can say, I met a lady who is a medical doctor, and she works with the UN. She's a Ugandan.
Yes.
She said they saved for a long time, for a couple of years, to take their children to Disney,
Yes.
in Florida.
Yes.
After they came back, they were advised by someone to take their kids to the Uganda Wildlife Education Center, the zoo in Entebbe.
Right.
And after the kids had the two experiences, they told their parents the zoo in Entebbe was a superior experience to what they had in Disney. So
I think that's very disappointing, after spending all that money.
No, for the parents it was, but I mean, it's good for us to know that we have, things that are actually of higher value, of better quality or experience than what we think, the outside world has or the developed world has. So this is one of those kind of, cases.
I think, ultimately it's about, I suppose information, where can they get this information?
Yes.
How do they get it, and once the trend starts, especially with the young ones, the young population, then they grow into it. It becomes part of their culture. Just like you were telling me about, your family as a child took you to these places. That's how passion is built.
Yep.
30, 40-year-olds, it's harder to change their mindset. But with the young people, it's okay.
Yeah, and we are specifically targeting the school kids as well, to give them opportunity to travel when they're still young.
Yeah, and university students as well, so that when they do make some money, they can do all this these tourism activities. So we're going to go to commercial, and when we come back, we're going to talk about your event, your upcoming massive event, the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo. It's this year, 2020. This year?
It is next week.
Okay.
It's happening already.
Okay, so when we come back, we're going to talk about that. Stay tuned to the Cedric Live Show, sponsored by MTN and hosted at the wonderful Speak Apartments on Wampa Avenue in Kampala.
Mama Narongo, sweetie Bambi, where are you?
Wanje?
Perezako simu, I want to get some soup.
Oyagala wankoko? Obo wente?
The soup you want is for MTN.
Mulimuchi?
Kudeire bando, I can call any network.
Olimba?
Chikuru wakana nyuburingi, the phone money I show you.
We have added more Kasupu to MTN daily voice bundles. You can now call all networks using the same voice bundle at the same price. Dial *160*21# to load an MTN daily voice bundle and call any network.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Welcome to the 5th annual Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo, taking place from the 4th to the 6th of February 2020 at the Speak Resort in Munyonyo. Get ready to learn the tourism benefits in the digital era, Africa's potential as a source market, emerging tourism trends, hospitality, and much more. So don't miss out on this amazing experience. For reservations, send us an email or call. The Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo is brought to you by the Uganda Tourism Board.
Welcome back to the Cedric Live Show, sponsored by MTN and hosted at the wonderful Speak Apartments on Wampeo Avenue in Kampala. On the show today we have Lily Ajarova, the CEO of Uganda Tourism Board, who was telling us a little bit about tourism in Uganda and how the industry's grown and what marketing strategies have actually been put in place so that tourism can continue to grow. So Lily, before we went to the show, I said that I'd be asking you about something that I've seen in the media, which is the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo. Tell me a bit, what is this? What is this Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo?
The Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo is a tourism and travel trade exhibition,
Right.
which is in itself a strategy to market Uganda for tourism for both Ugandans and the international community.
Right.
So it brings together both international partners and the Ugandans together. So what has happened is that we have invited different high-value tour operators, travel agencies to come in, experience Uganda.
Okay.
And we got them arriving on 28th. They're already in country.
Yes.
We flagged them off this morning, so
Right.
they are on a tour until the 3rd of February.
So they're going to all the different tourism destinations?
Yes, within the country. And when they get back on the 3rd, that will be just in time for the 3-day exhibition,
Right.
which is running from the 4th to the 6th of February.
Yes.
The opportunity it provides is that we have the international, we call them the hosted buyers, and among them are also international media.
Right.
To this point, for this year, we have 60 of them.
International media?
Yeah, both the hosted buyer
Yes.
and the media. We have 10 of international media.
So you Ugandans must behave properly because of all these media outlets while these guys are in the country.
Yes, so they are right now on the tour. When they come back, the exhibition starts on the 4th.
Okay.
And right now we have registered 120 exhibitors, majorly from Uganda, from the tourism industry,
Yes.
but also other related, sectors.
Yes.
Most of them are Ugandans. We have a few from the neighboring countries, from Tanzania, Kenya, Rwanda, and all that. And this is to help them showcase, give offers to these people who have come to buy what we have to offer.
Also, you have hotels owners,
The hotel owners, the
restaurant
travel,
owners, yes.
exactly, the tour operators with their different packages
Right.
ready. And this showcasing by the different partners, the business community in tourism, is not just only for the hosted buyers,
Yes.
it's also for the Ugandans. But we are dedicating 2 of the 3 days, that's the 4th and the 5th,
Yes.
for business to business.
Okay.
Meaning that we have the Ugandans who are showcasing what they have to offer,
Yes.
and the international buyers who have come in are doing real business. This is where we see tour operators signing contracts
Okay.
You know, a tour company from, say, from South Africa will say, let's sign a contract. Every year I'll be bringing 10,000 tourists from South Africa to Uganda.
Okay.
That is what we are looking at. It's serious business. So it's a great opportunity for our business community in Uganda to make the best use of this. Because otherwise what it would take is for them to spend money to fly to different countries, or in this case, fly to South Africa to look for this business.
You brought all the
The Uganda Tourism Board has brought all these people in the country so that it's cheaper, it's right there for them to make business. And this also includes, discussing investment opportunities, with these people. So it could call for joint investment in accommodation facilities, in whatever, aircrafts, airlines, whatever it is. Wildlife conservation as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and all that. So it's an opportunity. And then 2, for the Ugandans as well. We have the exhibition going on. So on the 6th, it's a Business Consumer Day.
Yes.
So the gates will be open for everyone to come in and, look at what is available. We have also encouraged the hotel owners, the tour companies, the travel agencies to come with some special offers to give, especially to the Ugandans, for Valentine's Day coming up soon.
Yes.
Easter is around the corner. People who are planning for their, honeymoons.
I can see all the men on my set, they're in panic mode. They're like Valentine's Day, they're shaking their heads.
Well, they must be at Speak Resort Munyonyo on the 6th to look for those offers that will be there at the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo.
Yes.
So there are 3 key values that Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo is offering. One is to showcase. The business people are showcasing. 2, to connect. We have all these different international people coming in. We would like them to connect with them, but also the Ugandans connecting with the business community in the tourism industry and get those offers we are talking about, and to discover Uganda. We were talking about that earlier on. There's so many Ugandans who do not actually know how much we have in the country. So with the different business people in the tourism industry showcasing what we have, Ugandans themselves will be discovering more of what we have. So very important. 3 key values for everyone to benefit from.
Yeah, I think it's important for Ugandans to go and have a look, especially the young people, so they can build into sort of consuming. Buy Uganda, build Uganda. Isn't that what they say?
Exactly.
So we need to come and have a look on the 6th of February. You said at Munyonyo?
Yes, at Munyonyo.
And I'm sure that we're going to learn a few things that we didn't know anyways.
There will be a lot to learn.
Yes.
And also, we are taking the opportunity to educate the public about the mandate of Uganda Tourism Board.
Right.
And our setup at the Uganda Tourism Board tent is going to have the different components of our mandate, including quality assurance. How do we get to grade the different accommodation facilities? What does it mean to have a 5-star hotel? What does it mean to have a 3-star, a 1-star? Even for the consumer themselves, what does that mean? If you're going to sleep in a 2-star hotel, what should you be expecting? Right. So you can learn about all these, at the Uganda Tourism Board tent, at the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo.
Good. I mean, it's wonderful that now, we're beginning to understand how to maximize our tourism, promote Uganda as a tourism destination. I was having a debate with some friends over the holidays, and we were talking about technology in the parks. Having access to internet facilities when people go to, and of course now, social media is just getting bigger and bigger every day. Of course we talked about Jidena earlier, being here and his following. But in terms of the parks, there were two views. Some people were like, well, you know, we're getting away from the hustle and bustle of the city. Why must we have internet connectivity? But the other school of thought was that, you know what, it's important for us, for tourists to be able to share their experience in real time with tourists across in Uganda and across the world.
Yeah.
So if you see an elephant and you want to live stream, you should be able to do it. What's your opinion?
Well, it's
in between.
It's in between. For me personally, there are places I would want to go and be disconnected,
Yes.
you know, from the communication going on around the world completely.
Right.
But also, on the other hand, it has become imperative to share whatever experiences you're going through with the family, with friends, you know, with the world generally. I think for the need is more biased towards having the communication.
Yes.
Yeah, so we are not going to run away from that.
Yes.
People want to share their experiences.
Yeah.
We still have some difficulties in certain destinations within the country. We are in discussion with the telecommunication companies, but more especially through UCC,
Yes, and the
to
ministry,
try and improve on this, but also for safety reasons. If there is any problem and there's need to rescue somebody, say
Yes.
especially destination like Mount Rwenzori,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
where people climb up to over 5,000 meters. If there is any problem, the communication should be available
Yes.
to instantly be able to rescue someone who is in trouble. So I think we are not going to run away from that. So
Yes.
the only way will be for you to just throw away your phone.
You can
I
switch it off.
went to a holiday somewhere,
Right.
you know, where they actually take away your phone from you.
What do you mean take it away? Do you have to give it to them?
Yes, you give it to them.
But
They
when you
have
say-
a basket and
I would
they
say I
say,
don't have a phone.
we want you to enjoy your holiday,
Yes.
so please surrender your phone.
Well,
So if you really want to disconnect, then, you know, that's what you will have to do. But otherwise, the world wants to see what you're experiencing. They want you to share it with them. So we are going to make,
And we have to
Then-
promote Uganda.
we have to promote the country.
And then for the lucky ones, they can switch off their phones.
Exactly.
So we're going to go to commercial again, and we'll come back. We'll speak a little bit more about tourism with Lily, the CEO of Uganda Tourism Board. Tell her about she can tell us a bit more about her plans for her and her organization in 2020-2021.
Mama Narongo, sweetie Bambi, where are you?
Wanji,
Pere zako simu, I wanted to get some soup.
oyagala wankoko, oba ow'ente.
The soup you want is for MTN.
Mulimu ki?
Ku daily bando, I can call any network.
Olimba.
Chikuru owakana you bring in the phone, I show you.
We have added more Kasupu to MTN daily voice bundles. You can now call all networks using the same voice bundle at the same price. Dial *160 *21 hash to load an MTN daily voice bundle and call any network.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Welcome to the 5th annual Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo, taking place from the 4th to the 6th of February 2020 at the Speak Resort in Munyonyo. Get ready to learn the tourism benefits in the digital era, Africa's potential as a source market, emerging tourism trends, hospitality, and much more. So don't miss out on this amazing experience. For reservations, send us an email or call. The Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo is brought to you by the Uganda Tourism Board.
He's shooting distance. He's on target.
Mama Narongo, sweetie Bambi, where are you?
Wanji?
Perezako simu, I want to get some soup.
Oyagala wankoko? Oba wente?
The soup you want is for MTN.
Mulimuchi?
Kudeire bando, I can call any network.
Olimba?
Chikuru wakana new bring in the phone, I show you.
We have added more Kasupu to MTN daily voice bundles. You can now call all networks using the same voice bundle at the same price. Dial star 160 star 21 hash to load an MTN daily voice bundle and call any network.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Welcome back to the Cedric Live Show, sponsored by MTN and hosted at the wonderful Speak Apartments on Wampo Avenue in Kampala. I was speaking to the CEO of Uganda Tourism Board, Lily, about tourism in Uganda, about the Pearl of Africa Expo, which is on the 3rd.
4th to 6th.
The 4th to the 6th of February. So it's coming up. So we all need to go to Munyonyo on the 6th to see what they have and help grow our country by consuming our products locally, and that being our facilities, our destinations, and trying to grow the industry. So, Lily, what are your plans? Of course, I'm sure as the CEO and the figurehead of Uganda Tourism Board, what are your plans to continually grow tourism in Uganda and over the next couple of years?
The plans one is to diversify the tourism products that we have. We still have lots of potential to develop different things in terms of experiences, activities, accommodation facilities, to different ranges. So this is very important for us to be able to grow the industry. So we need these facilities, we need different products to come on board so that more people can be engaged. We can get internationals staying longer because we have more things on offer for them, then they can spend more. Because at the end of the day, our key objectives are one, to have numbers coming in, these numbers translating into more foreign exchange earning for Uganda, creating more jobs to Ugandans, and increasing our contribution to the GDP.
Right.
So product development, diversification is one of the key things we are looking at improving in the next couple of years. And quality assurance. We need to set standards. We need standards in the industry. We need to professionalize. We have different categories of people working in the industry, from tour guides, safari guides, site guides at different cultural, sites, to mountaineering guides. We need to professionalize, everything being done in the industry. The hotels, earlier on we were talking about grading them. Internationally, if we are going to position ourselves and compete internationally, people know what a 3-star hotel should be having.
Yes.
So they don't have to even ask, what do they have, what don't they have? Because we need to go by the international standards. So that is one very key element that we are already working on.
Yes.
And by June this year, we are going to start grading the hotels and trying to help everybody to know what they should be having, the standards they should be maintaining, with their hotels for the existing ones. And for those who are still planning to invest and, construct new facilities, hotels, we are helping to communicate and get everyone to understand what the standards should be for
Right.
whatever level of investments that they have.
Yeah.
In addition to that, we are planning to improve on our marketing, build on what we already have both nationally and internationally to promote domestic tourism, get Ugandans to travel more, travel their own country first before traveling the rest of the world, and internationally with all the different efforts we are putting in through the market destination representatives, through the embassies that we are working with, through the expos that we attend internationally, bringing in the international media in to write stories about brand Uganda. So in addition to that, the one area that we're going to be investing more in is the digital marketing, because our presence as Uganda is still quite low online. And our own effort towards marketing Destination Uganda digitally is also low. So the plan is to up that, intensify that, and make sure that there's a lot of information going out, positive information going out about Uganda in all aspects, not just only for tourism, but there are lots of things, that ties in. The other sectors also tie in with tourism. Yes. We have coffee, it ties in. We have coffee tourism. We should be promoting the quality of coffee that we have in the country, the tea, cocoa, whatever other products we have. We should be putting them out there. Because also when the tourists come in, there is opportunity with that in attracting more investment, foreign investment for tourism through that as well. So if people are better informed of how the economy is performing in the different sector, then they can make decisions to come and visit the country because they know that things are working okay. So it's a kind of information that we are going to be putting together and sharing, intensively online, because it's really the way to go, digital marketing.
I was before you came on the show, I was reading a little bit about tourism. And in my other life, I have some, different facets of my life. I also happen to be the president of Uganda Tennis Association. So I'm heavily involved in sports. And one stat that I read that was very interesting was that sports tourism is growing 14% faster than mainstream tourism. Is sports something that the Uganda Tourism Board is going to get involved with in terms of promoting Uganda as a sports destination, as a place where, for example, if there's a partnership between Uganda Tourism and a sports federation to host an event, is that something you're looking at?
That's already happening.
Yes.
We have signed partnership with FUFA.
Yes, I saw that,
yes. We have signed partnership with Uganda Golf Union.
Yes.
And this is helping a great deal to promote domestic tourism.
Yes. And
we are in discussion with motocross.
Yes.
So sports tourism is big.
Yes,
and
it is.
The report you're reading,
yes.
Those figures are correct.
I'm correct,
we are positioning ourselves, to focus on sports tourism and take the opportunity to grow the tourism in Uganda as well. Yeah.
It's good to hear. We a couple of years ago with your predecessor, Stephen Asimwe, we hosted an international tennis event, which was very successful. And of course, we're grateful to the tourism board for having come on board. So we look forward to, that's what I like. I like sports, that's my thing. But again, everybody has their own.
I do as well.
Yes.
I bike, and so.
So Tour de Uganda, we're waiting for Tour de Uganda so people can ride bikes across. I'm sure the guys from the cycling.
That is in plan.
The Cycling Association will be very happy to hear that. But it's good to hear. Now I'm going to move out of tourism a little bit, and I'm going to talk about or ask you about women in leadership. It's a big thing, not just in Uganda, all over the world. What's your view on it? I mean, you must be an inspiration to many young ladies and ladies across the world. There's a lot of initiatives with the girl child. I don't know what's happening with the boys, but they'll be fine for now. So what is your advice to young girls, who are aspiring to lead, who are aspiring to be heads of industry? Uganda has quite a few, and we're not too bad. It could be much better, but what's your advice?
Well, the one thing is that we all can achieve what we want as individuals.
Yes.
Male or female. I think I take myself as an example of a woman who has been able to make it to a leadership position.
Yes.
As this, and it is determination. It's having a dream to start with. You must have a dream that you want to be somewhere.
Yes.
You must be able to work towards that. Be determined to work. It will not come easy, but persevere and move on and try again and again to be able to achieve it. It's also important to learn from others who have been. I've had mentors, people who have mentored me, who have encouraged me. You can't do it all by yourself. It's important that you seek support, and knowledge and skills from other people who are in the leadership position. We are not doing so badly, but personally, I feel very, very passionate as well about women in leadership.
Yes.
I have a personal project where I mentor women in leadership.
Tell me about it. What's the project?
It's just called Women in Leadership.
Okay.
So I take my personal time. So many times when I take my annual leave, part of it I spend training young women in leadership. What they need to be aware of. What are some of those cultural challenges they will meet, and how do they go around it? Based on my personal experience, where I'm coming from to where I am today. And so far, I have about 50
girls.
Yes, that I mentor.
That's just a lot of people.
Yes, and they are spread all around the country.
Okay.
And most of them are in wildlife conservation and tourism. We have a number of them who are tourism guides.
Okay.
Something which is very special about what is happening with women, in tourism.
Yes.
It's quite unique that we actually have women guides.
Okay.
It's not very easy to come across them, especially in Africa.
Yes.
And we have women, safari guide drivers. We have about 7 of them.
Oh.
They drive the safari vehicles and take tourists on safaris. And they're becoming very popular. They're international women who would feel more comfortable, with the ladies. So they're getting lots of business. And it's an opportunity for the young women out there. This is an opportunity in tourism, industry that you should take advantage of, because there's so many who needs a job, and here is an opportunity. And Uganda Tourism Board is helping to support the training of the guides. We have rangers, who are women, and they're working out there, in the bushes, in the forest, around this country. So for me, it's about having a dream. It's about being determined, to achieve your dream, and making sure that you get to create a network of people who can support you. You need the support system. You can't do it all by yourself. And I think we are doing quite well in Uganda with more women, you know, coming
In
up.
leadership positions,
And I personally feel that, you know, there's still a lot more to do. That's why
Yes.
I'm putting my personal time and resources into helping others.